Hello students. So student, in the previous class, in the chapter, we had completed the chapter that is gravitation and the topics which is related to that of the chapter. So we have discussed that what is a gravitation. In this chapter, we discussed that what is a universal gravitation and how we used to represent the universal gravitational constant, and that is capital G. Okay, as well as what is the value of this gravitational constant. Okay, universal law of gravitation, how the force of attraction dependent upon that of the mass and the radius between the two objects having the different mass. As well as we discussed that what is small g. So we understood the capital G as well as that of the small g, as well as the relationship between that of the capital G and that of the small g. So let me remind you some of the formulas which is given in this chapter. So the first formula that we have discussed is on the basis of the universal law of gravitation. So universal law of gravitation, it states that the force of gravitation is the force of attraction which is existing between the two objects having different masses and they are placed at a certain distance from each other, that will be equals to, means this force of attraction is directly proportional to product of their masses and inversely proportional to square of distance between them. So we can write it F is equals to G m1 into m2 upon r squared. So this is the first one. So if the mass is given of the two objects and the distance between them is given and we have to find the force, we are able to find it. The value of the G, student, that we are knowing is 6.67 into 10 the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. This is the value of the force of attraction which is existing between two objects. Sorry. If we talk about the second one, student, so in the second numerical, you see that was a relationship between the acceleration due to gravity, that is small g, and that of the capital G. So small g is equals to capital G m upon r square. This is the relationship between that of the small g and capital G. I told you many times, students, that even in the question, the relationship between that of the small g and capital G can be asked. Then the third one is the equation of motion and that of the freely falling body, how the relationship between these two. So the first equation of motion, that is equals to V is equals to U plus GT. Then S, in place of S, students, we can write here H is equals to UT plus half GT square, and finally V square is equals to U square plus 2GH. So this was all the three equations of motion in case of a freely falling body. And the fourth one, students, that is of the weight. So weight is also equals to G m upon r square. And if we talk about the weight of the moon, that is equals to 1/6 of that of the weight of the earth. So these are some of the formulas. If we are knowing about all of them, ultimately we are able to do the numericals which is related to this chapter. So let us move and try to understand some more numerical from this chapter, that is gravitation. These all formulas, student, you should write in the copy, and then if you will try the numericals, you will be able to understand that which numerical you have, which formula you have to use where. So question is, if a body is thrown upward, if a body is thrown upward, then the time of ascent, is equal to the time of descent. Equal to the time of descent. Prove it. So this is the statement, student, that when a body is thrown in the upward direction, the time of ascent is equal to time of descent. Now what we have to do? We have to prove that how it is correct. Okay. Okay, students. So how can we prove it? So first of all, we take that the initial velocity of the body will be equals to u. Okay. And the acceleration due to gravity is equals to g. Time, we can represent time will be equals to t. Okay. So, and that of the final velocity is equals to v. U, v, t and g. And what we have to find? We have to find that time of ascent will be equals to time of descent. So if we are throwing the ball in the upward direction, at that time, the time we will take, it should be equals to t1. Because we have to see the time of ascent and time of descent. It means when it goes in the upward direction and then when it comes backward. Both of the time. So when it goes in the upward direction, the time taken reaches to the maximum height. We will take the time as t1 here. Okay. So while taking all these things, students, now we can solve it. So you see, basically if we talk, we'll take, when you throw the ball in the upward direction, at that time, you see it reaches to the maximum height and there it gets stopped. So at the maximum height, the final velocity will be equals to 0. So it is having some initial velocity, but when it reaches to the maximum height, final velocity will be there and that will be equals to 0. So first of all, student, what we have to find? At first, we have to find that when ball, it goes from here to that of the final position. If this is the final position. So we have to find that what will be the T1. What will be the T1? And then when it comes back to the ground again, that T2. So we have to prove that T1 is equals to T2. Okay. So when the ball, it moves, when we throw the ball in the upward direction, it reaches to the maximum height. And at that time, the final velocity of the body will be equals to 0. So we can write here, U will be U only, that is the initial velocity. T will be T1 because we are writing here, we are finding the time of ascent, that is why we are writing here T1. What will be the acceleration due to gravity? So you see, students, you all are knowing that when you throw the ball in the upward direction, at that time it is moving away from that of the earth. So acceleration due to gravity will be negative. Okay, away from that of the earth, so acceleration due to gravity will be minus g. Okay, and final velocity will be equals to 0. Okay, now we all are knowing all these things. No, equation of motion, if we talk, so there are 3 equation of motion, but since we are knowing only these 2 and height is not mentioned, so we will prefer the first equation of motion for the freely falling body, and that will be V is equals to U plus GT. Now putting the value here, v, it will be equals to 0 because v is 0 here. U is u, plus minus g is there, so we will write here minus gt1. Okay. Now we can also write it here like u is equals to gt1, because this gt1, when it goes to this one, it will become plus. So u will be equals to gt1, or gt1 is equals to u, that is the same thing, or t1 is equals to u upon g. Okay, so this is what, student, this is the first equation. So this is what, this is the time of ascent. At that time u will be equals to g. Now what we have to find, that is the time of descent when the ball comes in the downward direction. Now you see, student, when the ball comes in the downward direction from here to again this position, so at that time u will be 0. So we can write at the time of descent u will be 0. T will be take as t2, because here we are seeing the time of descent. Okay, so t will be equals to t2. Now somewhere it will reaches to, because when it reaches to that of the ground, so final velocity will be there, so v will be equals to v only, and g will be the positive one, so we will write g is equals to g, because it is coming in the downward direction, and since it is coming to the downward direction, the acceleration due to gravity will remain positive. Okay, so these are some of the values when the ball, it comes in the downward direction or it moves towards the earth surface. So now taking the first equation of motion again, v is equals to u plus gt, because only this much things is given that we can use the first equation of motion only. If a height is given, at that time you are free to take any of the three. Since h is not given and you are knowing that in the second equation and even in the third equation h is mentioned, so we are going to prefer the first one. So v is equals to u plus gt, value of the v, some value is already there, u is 0 plus g t2. Okay, or you can write gt2 is equals to v, the same thing only. You can remove the 0 from here, or t2 will be equals to v upon g. Okay, this is the second equation. Now you see, student, you see, if we talk about the u, that will be equals to v. Why is this? Because the velocity with which it reaches in the upward direction, with the same velocity it will come and strike to that of the ground. Okay, so we can say that the body hits the ground with the same velocity as it goes in the upward direction. As it goes in the upward direction. That is why u is equals to v. And when u is equals to v, so you know that t1 is equals to u upon g. That was the first equation. So putting the value of this one, means u is equals to v, so we can say v is equals to u. So putting any of the value in any of one, I am writing here in place of V, I am putting here U. So you can see, student, T1 is equals to U upon G, and T2 is equals to U upon G. If you place in place of U, that is V, because both of them are equal, that time T1 will be equals to V upon G. T2 is also equals to V upon G. So you can see the value of that of the T1 and that of the T2, it comes equal, and through this we can say that T1 will be equals to T2. Okay, so we can say that time of ascent will be equals to time of descent. Time of ascent will be used or will be equals to that of the time of ascent. So by this, student, we have proved that the body, when it is thrown in the upward direction, the time of ascent is equals to time of descent. Okay, now let us move to the next question. So now we will see the next question, student. Next question is, students, that is, a stone is allowed to fall. A stone is allowed to fall from top of a tower. Okay, from top of a tower. Okay, and the height of the tower from the ground is 100 meter high. Now, the same time, another stone is projected in the upward direction. Same time, another stone is projected in the upward direction. In the upward direction. Okay, and projected in the upward direction with the velocity of 25 meter per second. When and where the two stone meet. So this is what, student, this is the question, and we have to write the answer of it. You see, students, the question, I'm repeating it again. The stone is allowed to fall. A stone is there which is allowed to fall from that of the top of the tower. Okay, and the tower height is given, student, that is 100 meters. So it is 100 meter high tower, and at the same time, you see, and at the same time, another stone is there which is projected in that of the upward direction, and that speed, the velocity of that of the ball is 25 meter per second. Okay, so when and where the ball meets. So one ball is dropped from a certain height, another ball is dropped in the upward direction. So when and where they will meet. So when, it means we have to find the time, and where, it means we have to find the distance. Okay, so first of all, we will write that what are the things which is given here, then we will move forward. Okay, so you see, student, the first thing which is given here is time, that we will represent it by T. So T is what, after which the stone meet. S, we will take it when it is the distance when the ball is dropped from a certain height. Okay, so S is the stone dropped. Height of stone dropped. And 100 minus S is the height of stone thrown vertically upward. Thrown vertically upward. So you see student, why it is here 100 minus S? Because the height is 100. Okay, so whatever will be, if the height, if the stone is covering the S distance, so 100 minus S, whatever will the height or distance covered by it, when we subtract it by 100, both of them will be meet at that particular point. That is why we have written here 100 minus S. It means the distance traveled by that of the stone which is projected in a vertically upward direction. Okay. Now you see student, if we see in the first case, if we have to find the distance traveled by the stone which is coming in the downward direction, at that time you will see the distance, it means height is given, that is 100, and U will be 0 because at that time it was at rest and then it was thrown in a vertical downward direction, and G value will be also positive. So we can write here, in such a case, distance we are taking already as a S, that will be equals to UT plus half GT square. Why we are taking here UT plus half GT square, student? Because U, we are knowing value of U, that will be equals to 0. In the first case I am talking about, in which the ball is dropped in the downward direction. The value of the G will be G only, or we are taking here a 10 meter per second square. So the value of the G is plus 10 meter per second square. Reason of taking plus here, because it is coming towards that of the earth. That is why we will take here as a positive sign. So G will be equals to 10 meter per second square. Okay. Time, students, we have to find the time. So time we are not knowing about it. Okay. And S, the S is equals to 100 meter. Okay. So instead of that, we are not going to put the value of S, because here we are taking the distance traveled by the object when it is thrown in the vertically downward direction as S. So we are going to simply put the other values and try to find the value of a T here. Okay. So you see student, S will be S here. So S is equals to, U is 0. 0 into T will be equals to 0. So we will write here 0 into T plus half value of the G we are taking here as a 10. Okay. Into T square. Okay. So T square will remains the same. Or we can write it, S will be equals to, it is 0 now, and half into 10, that will be equals to 5. So we can write it, it will be equals to 5T square. So S will be equals to 5T square. Right now we are not going to put the value of a S here. We are simply taking it as a first equation. Okay. I hope you have understood, student. We have taken the value of a U, that is 0. Value of a G is 10 meter per second square. Here actually it is mentioned as G is equal to 10 meter per second square. So that is why we have taken here as a 10 meter per second square, and T we are not knowing about it, and that is why S is equals to 5T square. So this one is for the first one. Now the same thing when we use for the ball which is for the stone which is projected in the upward direction. For that, student, again here the value of the G will be equals to minus G. And at that time, the value of U is given. You see, student, the velocity of the ball which is projected in the upward direction is equals to 25 meter per second. So U we will take as a 25 meter per second. T we are not knowing. And so at this time S is equals to ut plus half gt square, we are knowing about it. And in place of a S, that is the distance, we will write here 100 minus S. That will be equals to u is 25t plus half gt square there, students. So we will write here half. It will be minus g. So we can write it here as a minus half 10 into 10 t square. So this will be equals to 5. So in place of writing this, we can write it 100 minus s. That will be equals to 25t minus 5t square. This is the second one. Okay. So first equation was S is equals to 5t square. That was the first equation. Now adding both of them, that is the first and the second one, what we will get, student? So 100 minus S plus S. We are adding the first and second equation. Adding first and second. Sorry. That will be equals to 25t minus 5t square plus 5t square. This plus 5t square is of the first equation. This plus s is of the first equation. So we have added the first and the second equation and we get this equation. Now you see, here we can write it like this s and this s will cancel each other. So here it will remain as 100. And this minus 5t square and plus 5t square will cancel each other and 25t will remain as such. So t will be equals to 100 divided by 25 and that will be equals to 4 seconds. So where they will meet, students, so both of them will meet after 4 seconds. Okay, now we are knowing the value of a t. Now what we have to find? We have to find the distance traveled by them. Okay. So t is, we are knowing t, that is equals to 4 seconds. And now we are going to find the distance traveled. Okay. So students, we are knowing s is equals to, the first equation was s is equals to 5t square. And value of the t we are knowing. So s will be equals to 5 into 4 square. So s will be equals to 5 into 16 and that will be equals to 80 meter. So value of the distance where they will meet, student, that is 80 meter. So when they will meet after 4 seconds, and where they will meet at 80 meter they will meet. Okay. Okay. So 80 meter they will meet a student and at 4 seconds, after 4 seconds they will meet at a point. Let me tell you one more question. So we have discussed, students, that is so you see, if a question is that Amit buy gold at poles of earth as instructed by him, as instructed by his friend, and he gave that gold to his friend, gave that gold to him when he met him at at equator. At equator. Will he agree with Amit? If not, why? You see, students, that Amit, he buy some gold, and at that time he was at pole, and right now he has given, because his friend is said to him to buy gold. So at that time he was at pole of the earth, and from there he buy the gold, and when he reaches, because his friend was living at the equator, so when he reaches there and he hand over the gold, so will his friend is agree with the weight or with the you can say the grams of the gold? So absolutely not, because the weight of the gold at pole is higher than that of the equator. So when he has taken that particular amount of gold from the pole, at that time the weight of the gold was higher, and when he hand over the same amount of gold to his friend, since at the equator the weight is less, so amount of the gold will be less, the weight of the amount of the gold will be less, so he will be not agree, he will say that the amount of the gold is lesser. Okay, so you will write it, weight of gold is more on pole than equator, so he will be not agree. So he will be not agree because of that, because at that time the weight of the gold is lesser as compared to that of the equator.